This episode of Our Savings starts tomorrow, brought to you by our friends over at The Artisan. The Artisan is some cool clothing. If you want to look like you just went to the beach.
Right.
But not like the sandy mess kind of went to the beach. Like, you went and a bird pooped on you and like your kids like cried the whole time
Yes.
and you just want to get
sunburned.
home. Yeah, and you're sunburnt and like dehydrated. No, I'm talking like the cool like movie look.
Yes.
Yeah, that's The Artisan. They have the Beach Day Summer Collection. They have their infamous whale tail logo that's on everything. It's this, not a butt. It's a tail of a whale coming out of the ocean. And what's really cool about The Artisan is 10% of net profits go to save the ocean. So first of all, you're wearing something that you look good in.
Right.
And then you're doing something that's actually good, like a good cause.
I love that.
It's the best of both.
I also love that tie-dye sweatshirt. I'm not going to lie.
Tie-dye hoodie.
Yes.
I know.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Give
And-
me some like beach wave hair.
Yes. Like the sexy one, not like your bad beach wave. You know what I mean? The difference.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks again to our sponsors. You can go right now to theartisannb.com and order and help out our sponsor. On with the show.
Want to have a great vacation? Just do the opposite of everything they say. Our savings starts tomorrow with Jen and Jon.
Over 50 films, or 50 movies, I should say, have been filmed in Moab.
Really?
Yes. Or in Arches National Park.
Like what?
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Really?
Thelma and Louise.
Oh, yeah.
We learned that when we were there.
Mhm.
Con Air.
Really?
Yeah, when they're flying over the deserts and stuff. That's there.
That makes sense.
Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt.
Which obviously I need to mention. In fact, and we didn't do this, and I'm kicking ourselves in the butt. You can visit the Moab Museum of Film and Western Heritage.
Oh, that would have been cool.
They have all these like props.
I bet a
and-
ton of Westerns.
Oh, so many Westerns.
Yes.
Yeah, so you could walk through and be like, oh, I remember that movie. Like, it's pretty cool. So when you walk there and you go to Moab, in fact, the title of this podcast episode is Moab, Are You Even on Earth? Because it looks so...
Yes. Is there any movies that were like
From space?
from space?
I don't know.
Because I'm telling you, Moab looks like you're on Mars.
You know that movie with Matt Damon where he becomes a potato farmer on Mars?
Yes.
That looks like it was filmed in Moab.
We should have looked that up.
I did a lot of research actually for this one, but I didn't go that far.
Okay.
All right.
Well.
We're going to tell you all about Moab. In fact, there are two national parks within Moab. You got Canyonlands, and then you have Arches.
Yes.
We're going to cover both of them today, but first, a crazy travel story. This is from Reddit. One day, we decided to go to quite a distant and non-touristy area in Myanmar. And when we came to the hostel, a very kind old lady greeted us. She spoke just a few words in English. We noticed that there was a washing machine for guests. And because we were traveling for more than 2 weeks, it was time to do laundry. So we brought a bag of our clothes. The lady pointed to her husband. I handed him my laundry. And then it happened. The man and woman started yelling. Her husband threw the laundry bag back to us. The angry woman started pointing to us, first to my boyfriend, later to me. We didn't understand the situation, so we just took our clothes and ran back to our room. Well, we were surprised but very curious about what happened, so we started to Google it, and we found out the reason. Burmese are very superstitious and believe that a man can't touch a woman's underwear because they believe that touching a lady's underwear will, quote, sap them of their power. So the poor old lady thought that we were trying to hurt her husband.
Oh.
I ended up looking this up because I'm like, no, that can't be true.
And?
Back in 2007, there was a campaign by a Thai-based group called Panties for Peace. Great name. In which supporters were actually encouraged to send women's underwear to the embassies to weaken their power.
My gosh.
Like it's an actual thing.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the problem whenever you travel and there's like the whole language barrier thing.
Why? First of all, why would you just assume you're staying at a hostel?
Yeah.
Why would you just assume that these people are doing your laundry? You're not staying.
I assume everyone wants to do my laundry.
I mean, I guess if I'm staying at a hostel, I assume that I am washing my own clothes
In the sink.
probably.
Right? And then you hang it in
Yes.
the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like a normal person.
Uh-huh.
Or I just give them
Was
to
it like a
anyone.
fluff and fold
No.
situation? I mean,
If you see an old lady in a foreign country, you just assume she wants to do your laundry.
No.
That's how it works. All right, back to Moab. Why don't we start with Arches? Arches National Park.
the coolest place.
Yes. we did a podcast episode on Zion National Park, and you can go back and listen to that one. There's something so special about Arches.
Yes.
Because, like you said earlier, it looks like another world.
Oh my gosh, when you're driving through Arches, it looks like you're in
Space. Mars.
Space. Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. You do have to make a reservation to get into that park. Did you know that Arches brings in over $100 million in revenue to Utah every year? Because that's how many tourists want to go there and look at Delicate Arch, right? That's what everyone wants to go look at?
Yes.
Or the Balanced Rock.
Yeah. What was so crazy is that we spent a long weekend there. We live in Salt Lake, so it's only
It's like a 4-hour drive.
Yeah. The amount of people from around the world that are there vacationing with their family for
that
a week.
Yeah.
To do like all the hikes, all the things. Like, we're so lucky, I guess.
We met a family and they're from Maryland and they're like, oh yeah, this is spring break. So we decided to fly out here and visit. You know, we've always wanted to go to Arches. And I'm like, what?
Always wanted to go. I know.
I'm like, did you mean you went to Vegas and you were bored and you drove up here for the day?
Nope.
No, this is like where they went for their whole trip.
Mm-hmm.
We're different. We're
know.
different types of people.
I know. But what's so cool about Arches that we learned when we were reading all these things to the kids is there are 2,000 arches.
Yeah, I thought it was just one.
And like there's, I don't even know, like 20 plus arches that you can like hike to that are named or whatever. And so every time we would like see one, the kids would be like, what's the name of that arch? So then we would make it up, of course.
Yeah, of course, because we didn't want to actually pull over and read the name.
No.
Also, I don't know what they call an arch because there's some things where it was like, oh, that's an arch over there because you could see like the placard. And it wasn't. It just looked like a hole in the ground. Like not everything was the beautiful arch like you think of.
Yeah.
Like, so I think they're 2,000. I think they rounded up.
Probably.
I'm saying it's probably more around like 1,200. And they said, well, 2,000 is better than 1,000.
There's also some that are like broken. They're like,
I
don't know.
Falling apart.
Yeah.
Well, Delicate Arch in Arches National Park is the most famous and most photographed arch in the world.
It's the Utah arch, basically.
Yeah.
It's the one that's on our
license plate. It's a strenuous hike, I would say.
Yeah,
it's one of the harder hikes that when they warn you about on the map.
Also, when you get up to it, like if you do the hike actually up to Delicate Arch, it's kind of like it's scary a little bit.
Yeah, because you have to kind of there's a cliff on one side.
Yes,
and you're kind of shimmying along. Also, I'm like, so we're just letting anyone do this,
right?
I felt that way so many times where I'm like, I feel like we're in relatively good shape and like. I'm sweating and I'm like, so this is cool.
Like, yeah, I know.
No one wants to like be like, hey man, you probably shouldn't do this. You look like you're gonna have a heart attack. And then you'll see some people who are doing like this hike and they're like decked out from head to toe wearing like hiking gear. Like they went to REI and they got the REI special.
And it's like, calm down. It's like the meme with the, my daughter did the hike in her sandals and a naked Barbie in her hand.
But then you see the other guy who's got like his Chicago Bears jersey on.
I know.
Who's a little overweight, wearing his Crocs and sandals.
Yep.
And he's doing it as well.
I know.
And I'm like, is there a happy medium that we can find? But it is worth it. It's worth every bit, even if it's like strenuous and hard and you need to take a break every 15 minutes.
Definitely try to do it early in the morning.
Yeah.
Because it does get hot. There's not a ton of shade on that walk.
Yeah.
But it is breathtaking.
I think the other cool thing that you have to make sure you see is Balanced Rock.
Yeah.
Or as my kids called it, the penis rock. Balanced Rock is 128 feet tall. It weighs an estimated 3,600 tons. It's this huge rock on a tiny pillar.
Yes. It's
balancing.
Crazy.
It's
crazy.
And the great thing is about it, there's no hike involved. You just get to pull your car right up to it.
Yeah.
Like if you want to walk around, you can. Or you can just kind of get out of your car, take a photo, do one of those like leaning tower at Pisa.
Of course, you have to.
Yeah. And then you get back in your car and you continue on. Speaking of your car, a lot of like Arches National Park, you drive.
Yeah.
Way more than Zion.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's a lot of driving.
Well, because in Zion, they have you couldn't really drive a lot of it.
They have those buses.
Buses that bus you in.
Right.
No. In Moab, you drive yourself.
I was saying, and there's not a lot of trees. I'm like, we're really creating a lot of pollution. There's traffic jams.
I know.
Like at this national park.
Also, no cell service.
None. Yeah.
So if you want to like listen to music or something, you need to download that.
We learned that the hard way for day one. Day two, we came back ready to go
Yes.
with a bunch of 90s R&B throwback jams for the kiddos.
Yes.
They learned a lot of new words.
Yep.
And I think they got their groove on.
Yep.
Yeah. Canyonlands is the other one. Remember we were talking about those two. And this is really cool, and I wish I would have known this ahead of time. Canyons is designated as a gold tier international dark sky park. It's like, well, what is...
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's so dark there. It's one of the greatest places to see the Milky Way with the naked eye.
Oh, that's
How did
way
we miss
cool.
that?
I know.
Well, we went to bed before the sun set.
I was going to say, our kids, they like to go to bed early. They're the only kids in the
They're the
world.
worst.
I
They're
know.
the worst.
I know.
The sun was still out.
Mm-hmm.
It was insane.
We were tired too.
Dead Horse Point State Park, which isn't a national park, but it's there by Canyonlands too.
That's where Thelma and Louise.
That's the famous Thelma and Louise
where
Canyon.
they drive off the canyon.
So I felt like we had to mention
Yes.
that. Hell's Revenge, we did that.
Yes.
Hell's Revenge is outside of the national parks, but it's this slick rock trail, and it's right on the edge of town. There's steep climbs, there's steep descents, there's a great view at sunset.
That's where everyone does their like ATV,
Yeah.
Jeep stuff. That's another thing that I can't believe they just let anyone do that.
Right. Yeah. So you can rent like an ATV or a
Razor or
or
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
Or I think even like a Hummer, and like you just go in here and you drive around, and you drive on these rocks that will flip you.
We almost rented stuff to do it on our own.
Yep.
And you were really upset because I had booked
You booked
a
this-
tour.
I was like, come on, you got me.
I know. I know. And I was like, no, I had heard from a ton of people, you got to do the Hummer tour.
Yeah.
So I booked it. I booked it through Utah Adventures.
Yeah.
Great company,
Great company.
by the way.
Yeah.
And they do a ton of different tours throughout Moab and Canyonlands. But anyways, we did the Hummer tour. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how these. I don't know how physics works. I'm not a learned man, but these Hummers would be like upside down on the rocks.
It was,
and you didn't
yeah.
fall. It made no sense.
So there's enough room. So you can sit outside of the Hummer in the back.
Yep.
So you're almost like,
Think Jurassic Park.
yeah, you're just like hanging out in the back. And then there's some seats in the back seat, which is really inside the Hummer.
Right.
The first part of the tour we did inside.
And the kids cried the whole time.
Literally
The whole time.
cried the entire time.
I was like, we have to turn around and do this again. All
well,
the way
it was,
back.
I think I booked like a 2
2 hour too long.
2 hour tour. Yeah.
So it was an hour there, hour back.
Yes.
And it was hard to even enjoy it because the kids were crying and freaking out.
Yes.
Because you're on the edge of a cliff.
Yes.
And you feel like even as an adult, like you feel
When
like
you're
you're gonna
going up
fall.
the rock, you feel like you are going to flip back.
Yeah.
And when you're going down, you feel like you're going to flip over.
But coming back,
Coming back, we had to sit in the back.
and we were like, oh no, if the kids were freaking out before, what is it going to be like when we're
Yes.
hanging out off this thing? And they loved it.
Oh my gosh, they were
They
like
loved laughing,
putting their hands up. They weren't crying anymore. It was I would highly recommend that.
Yeah.
After doing that though,
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh my god, the fact that I was going to put my life in your hands
You're
and
welcome.
let you just
Oh, we would've
rent
died.
ATVs
Yeah.
and go on it
Yeah,
like
yeah.
no."
Because I would have gone right for like the hardcore one, the devil's spine.
Yes.
You know,
But it's like I feel like you have to know what you're doing.
yes, but they don't. They just give you the ATV and a flask.
How many people oh my god.
No,
How many people die over there?
You would think many. And
Seriously.
we saw a bunch of trucks get stuck, and the tour guy was telling us how all these people, they buy their new trucks, and the first thing they want to do is take it over here to Hell's Revenge, be like, yeah, look at my heavy duty F-350, but they don't know what they're doing, and the trucks really aren't built for that. Like,
Let me
it's
tell you what
different.
I would never do.
I'm gonna pay $110,000 for
Oh
a
my
truck
gosh.
to come flip it over at Hell's Revenge.
It was the coolest experience,
Yeah.
though. I would highly
Yeah.
recommend that.
Completely. Also, what's really cool is there's dino prints and fossils all
Oh,
around.
yeah,
so
that
you
guy
can
was
stop
cool.
and see like raptor prints. I think like a brontosaurus or brachiosaurus. I don't know.
Yes. There's
Maybe they were actual prints or they're just divots, and the guy told me they were. I mean, honestly, did they look like anything to you?
the one kind of did.
I think I can do a better print. You know how you put your side of your fist into some ink and you can make like a baby foot?
Yes.
I think that's what they did. Like that's what it looks like. It doesn't look great.
I'm going to say no.
Saw it.
It's a dinosaur.
That's fine.
Yes.
We did go to that dinosaur park.
We did do that.
The Moab Giants dinosaur park. It was awesome. Everyone wanted to leave but me. Over 100 life-size dinosaurs. They have this outdoor trail that you just wander around and you go through like all the different like time periods.
Yeah.
And they're not animatronic, nor is there any music. And you're in the sun. There's no shade. But you got to stare at ceramic dinosaurs.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all
That's
it is.
it. That's
I know
it
you're
in a
waiting for
nutshell.
like, and then what?
Nope.
No, but they charge you. This is the fun part. A lot of money to walk through it.
Yes.
So you feel like,
And then there's some equipment for the kids to play on.
yeah, like an old playground.
Yes.
That hasn't been fixed in quite some time.
So,
Yeah.
Moab, you just walk around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're just going on hikes. So if you need another place to just walk around outside in the sun, you could go to this place.
If you're over hiking in the national park, you could go pay
Yes.
to hike in the dino park.
Yes.
You're not going to see anything better, but it's a different experience.
The kids were excited to go, and then
And then
they
no
were
one
over
was
it real-
excited to be there
Yeah.
anymore. All right. Well, Main Street was cool in Moab. We spent a lot of
Yes.
time on historic Main Street. It wasn't open when we were there, but the Moab Backyard Theater I'm going to. If you like folksy community stuff.
it looked like something you would love.
I would perform there if given the opportunity.
100%.
I think they had like a magician.
Mm-hmm.
And you go there and like you sit in these fold out chairs. It's literally almost like in someone's backyard.
Yes, and they usually have food trucks.
Yeah.
Or you can just bring your own food.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Well, on the other side of the Backyard Theater is the Moab food truck park.
Oh, that's right.
Where you
that's
got
right.
the quesadilla mobilia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you go there and then you walk over to the person's backyard and watch them do some magic.
Mhm.
Oh, I wish we would have gone.
It
we would have
wasn't
gone.
open.
I
Sorry.
know. We would have done
Next
the meet and
time.
greet. Is there a VIP pass?
Okay.
Is there any way to get front row?
I will say there's so many different kinds of food in Moab, which
Shockingly.
was nice.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you can only have so many hamburgers, pizza places.
What do we got? Thai?
We had Thai one night. We actually had sushi one night.
Yeah.
That was
good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
We had not just pizza, but like artisan pizza
fancy
from
pizza.
like a wood-fired grill.
Uh-huh.
We
We had beer at Moab Brewery.
beer at Moab Brewery.
You can get Moab beer like anywhere. I'm sure you've seen it at the grocery store. We went to Jailhouse Cafe, which was built in the 1800s. It's considered the breakfast spot in Moab.
It was a really good breakfast.
There's a long line. They're really
Mhm.
famous for like their bacon.
Yes.
What else did they have? Oh, Love Muffin Cafe.
Yes.
Love Muffin Cafe is like, if you want to go on a hike, they say get their breakfast burrito and coffee, which to me sounds like they better have an outhouse about 3 miles into that hike. Because if I'm having a breakfast burrito and coffee before my hike, things are not going to go well.
Here's the thing about Love Muffin Cafe.
Yeah.
Everyone told us to go there.
Yes.
Every website says that it's like the place.
Right.
It has like the oddest hours.
They're open like Tuesdays and Thursdays. It was something crazy like that, wasn't it?
Like we tried to go there 2 different times and they were
We
closed.
were there for 4 days.
Yes.
So you would think we would have had an opportunity to
And
go
it was
there.
all it was like it's like they weren't open on Saturday
Yeah.
and they weren't open on Monday, but they were open on Sunday. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
honestly
so
that's not
random.
true. But definitely check to see when their hours are because they do kind of have funky hours and like days that are
What was that nice
off.
restaurant we went to that overlooked all of
the Sunset Grill.
the Sunset Grill? Yeah.
You can't miss that one. So when you're driving to Moab, there's a restaurant that's up at the top of a hill.
It was good. And it was some guy's house. I didn't realize this, but back in the day, they found all this uranium in Moab, and the guy happened to own the property the uranium was founded on, and he became like a billionaire.
Oh.
And he bought this huge house. It's like Graceland,
Yeah.
and now they turned it into a restaurant.
Yeah.
But it's like you're walking into the living room, and there's
Yeah.
tables there. It's kind of funky.
It's kind of funky.
Yeah.
But they say that every table has a view, and it is true. We sat outside,
Some views are better than others.
but it is a view nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was nice. We had steak
Yeah, and wine and all
and
the
wine
stuff.
and all the things.
You have to drive kind of a scary drive. It's not as bad as
A little windy hill.
yeah.
But they do have a shuttle.
Yeah, we should have done that.
Yep, they do have a shuttle that
Yeah.
you can call, and they'll like pick you up from any of your hotels or anything like that.
Speaking of hotels, before we finish this episode, I did want to mention the one we stayed at in case you have a family because it was good. It was a Marriott.
It was the Marriott,
Yeah.
and it was honestly almost right across
It
the
was
street from the sun.
closest hotel to the entrance to
Mhm.
Arches, and it was right close to the sunset.
Yeah, so you couldn't really walk necessarily to like the main
No,
street.
that was the bummer about it.
That was kind of a bummer.
You're right.
But it was they had a lot of pools. They had like 3 different pools and many jacuzzis, which was awesome because the jacuzzis are open super late at night. So after you've hiked all day, it was nice to like go down and
All
jump
the
in the
families
jacuzzi.
are there in the jacuzzi, soaking
Yes.
their bones.
Mhm.
Then you have to make friends.
Yeah,
We didn't enjoy that, but we're not social.
we're not social.
But everyone else was making all friends. Like it's like a
Yes.
cruise ship where you
Yep.
sit like with other people and everyone's excited about it.
Yeah.
That's how everyone was in these jacuzzis. And then there was us.
Yes.
And our kids were trying to make friends and we were like, don't talk to them. All right, there you go. Another travel episode. We'll put some extra restaurant names in our show notes, so make sure you go back because we have like the Thai place and all that. Like, we do
Yes.
have those names. And if you're thinking about going, if you want to fly into Vegas, it's like 6 hours away. Or if you fly into Salt Lake City, it's 4 hours away
Yes.
to go to Moab and Arches National Park. Please rate, review. We got a 1-star last week. Find that person.
You know what though?
Huh.
I was thinking about it.
Yes.
The 1-star makes us seem like
Legit.
more legit.
You're right. We don't need another one. Don't make us
No.
more legit.
Please don't make us more legit. But it just shows that, all of our reviews are real reviews.
Yeah, they're not bought and paid for.
Exactly.
So you can
But
go.
if you could if you
please.
want me to pay you for a 5-star review,
we'll do
wink,
it.
wink,
Yeah.
let me know.
And you can always go on Instagram and follow us there. It's Our Savings Starts Tomorrow. Bye-bye.